welcome to my garden. It is November and it's getting colder and wetter, and therefore it is time to start lifting and storing dahlia tubers. These dahlias have finished flowering, so I'm going to lift the tubers. Our winters get very wet, and combined with frost it will definitely kill them. But first let's get this one out of the way. And then I start by removing the growth. I'll carefully try to lift them without going through the tubers. It is better to do this with a fork, but I only have this spade available, so this will have to do. Gently making my way around the tubers. There it goes. There it is. I will try to remove as much of the soil as possible. And I'm checking for any rotten tubers, and this one here is rotten. Look at that. So I'm going to remove that one. Besides from a few rotten parts, it's not looking too bad. So I will take this one indoors, let it dry, and then store it in a newspaper. Let's get the next one out. If you live in an area where it doesn't get too cold and especially not too wet, you can leave them in the ground. With a bit of protection, they can cope with a little bit of frost. You can cover them with a layer of dry leaves or straw. It is the combination of sitting in wet soil and frost that kills them. Our winters do not tend to get too cold, but very wet, and occasionally we get a few nights of minus 10 degrees Celsius. Definitely not the perfect conditions for dahlias. I've left my dahlias in the ground for a couple of years, and they were perfectly fine. Until they weren't, so I prefer to lift and store mine every year now. Look at it. This one is huge. It's a nice healthy tuber. Just checking. And as you can see here, this one is rotten, so I'll remove this one. If you grow a lot of dahlias, it is a lot of work to lift, store and plant them every year, but it is highly rewarding to see these gorgeous flowers blooming for weeks. There are many ways to store your dahlias, and it also depends on your climate. You don't want them to dry out too much, so if you live somewhere where it's very dry, you can store them in plastic containers with a closed lid. Here in our country, it is very humid, therefore moist is what is most likely to kill them. You can store them in a box with dry potting compost, or what I do, dry them and store them individually wrapped in a newspaper in an open box. Do what works best for you and gives you the best results. Now, what I'm going to do next might seem a bit odd, but I'm going to cut the top growth of the dahlias and put them in this hole and cover it with soil, and this way it will break down quickly and it will feed the soil for next year's dahlias. I'm going to dry these and then wrap them in newspaper and store them somewhere frost-free. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you ever so much for watching. Please subscribe to this channel for more videos. See you next time. Soon it will get more wet and the soil will get I will carefully try to lift them. It is better, oh no,